Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a deep breath and let this truth settle into your spirit. Because today we're talking about something profound. We're talking about the essence of dignity, of grace, of unwavering strength. You see, a queen doesn't chase after what's already hers. She doesn't scramble or plead. She doesn't lower herself to fit into spaces she's outgrown. A queen stands tall. She claims her place in the world, not by force, but by the quiet certainty that she is enough, that she is worthy. Today, I want to invite you to walk in the footsteps of that queen. I want you to feel her courage, her clarity, her deep-rooted knowing that she doesn't have to pursue, she only needs to stand. The power of presence is a force that transcends mere physicality. It is the magnetic energy that draws others in and holds them captivated without a single word spoken. It's an inner knowing, a deep-seated conviction that who you are, as you are, is enough. Presence isn't about being loud, aggressive, or flashy. It's about exuding a calm confidence that whispers, I am here. I am rooted. I am unshakable. It's a quality that can't be faked or borrowed. It has to be cultivated and owned. When a queen stands in her presence, she doesn't have to prove herself. She doesn't need to validate her worth to anyone because she already knows it. She is anchored in her authenticity, and that authenticity radiates out into the world like a beacon. This presence isn't about perfection or about having everything figured out. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about accepting the imperfection and owning it. It's about standing in your truth, flaws and all, and saying, this is me, take it or leave it. That level of self-acceptance is magnetic, and people can't help but be drawn to it. In a world that constantly tells us we have to do more, be more, and chase after every opportunity, the power of presence is a radical act of defiance. It's saying, I will not be pulled in 1,000 directions. I will not diminish myself to fit into your mold. I will stand in who I am, and that is enough. And in that stillness, there is immense power, because when you're present, you're not expending energy, chasing after things that don't serve you. You're not scattered. You're not seeking validation or hustling for approval. You're rooted, centered, and calm. Presence commands respect in a way that pursuit never can. When you're present, people feel it. They sense that you're fully engaged in the moment. You're not distracted by the past or anxious about the future. You're here, right now. And that's where life happens. That's where real connection occurs. In presence, there is clarity, there is focus, and there is strength. When a queen walks into a room, she doesn't have to announce herself. Her energy precedes her. It's in the way she carries herself. Head held high, shoulders back, eyes steady. It's in the way she listens, truly listens, without interrupting or imposing. It's in the way she breathes, deeply and fully, not rushing or gasping for air. That kind of presence is felt long before a word is spoken. And the beauty of it is that presence isn't about controlling others' perceptions. It's not about manipulating or performing. It's about being so fully aligned with yourself that others can't help but take notice. You're not trying to fit in, you're simply being. And that authenticity creates a ripple effect. It inspires others to do the same. It gives them permission to show up as they are, without pretense or fear. Presence also has a profound impact on how you experience the world. When you're present, you notice the little things, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the laughter of a friend, the subtle shift in someone's tone of voice. You're not lost in your head, worrying about what's next or replaying what's already happened. You're grounded in the here and now, and that's where life feels richest and most rewarding. This kind of presence is cultivated through intention and practice. It's about slowing down, tuning in, and listening to the quiet wisdom within. It's about putting down your phone, closing the endless tabs in your mind, and taking a breath. It's about remembering that you don't have to chase after what's meant for you. You don't have to exhaust yourself trying to prove you're worthy of love, respect, or success. You already are. When you stand in your presence, you become a mirror for others. You show them what's possible when you let go of the need to chase and simply stand in your truth. You model a kind of elegance and poise that's rare and precious in this fast-paced world, and in doing so, you create a space for others to rise to that same level of presence. But make no mistake, standing in your presence is not always easy. It requires courage, it requires vulnerability, it requires a willingness to face the parts of yourself that you might normally hide. Because presence is about wholeness. It's about embracing every part of yourself, the light and the shadow, the triumphs and the failures, and saying, "This is me, I own it all." And in that radical self-acceptance, there is power, there is freedom. So many people spend their lives in pursuit of success, of approval, of validation. But the queen knows that what she seeks is already within her. She doesn't have to run after it. She only needs to stand in it. She understands that her presence speaks louder than any words, any titles, or any accolades. It's an energy that can't be replicated or faked. It's an energy that comes from a deep sense of knowing who you are, what you value, and what you stand for. Presence is not something you acquire by ticking off boxes or hustling harder. It's something you embody by letting go. Letting go of the noise, the distractions, and the need to prove yourself. It's something you reclaim when you remember that your worth is not determined by how much you do, but by how deeply you are connected to yourself. It's a homecoming, a return to your own power. In the stillness of presence, you can hear your intuition more clearly. You can feel the truth of your own heart, beating strong and steady. You can move through the world with purpose and grace, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you're fully alive to the moment. And in that aliveness, there is nothing more powerful. That your time, energy, and love are precious resources, and you guard them with care. You no longer give yourself away freely to situations or people that drain you. You no longer feel compelled to prove your worth by overextending yourself or tolerating behavior that undermines your dignity. Owning your worth also means letting go of the narratives that have kept you small. So often we're conditioned to believe that we have to earn our place in the world, that we have to hustle, sacrifice, and shrink ourselves to be accepted. But the truth is, you were born worthy. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to beg for it. You simply have to claim it. That's what owning your worth is. A declaration, a reclamation, a promise to stand in the fullness of who you are. This journey isn't always easy. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when old stories rise up to convince you that you're not enough. There will be voices, both internal and external, that try to diminish you or make you question your value. But owning your worth means choosing to stand firm, even in the face of those doubts. It means choosing to believe in yourself when it feels hard. It means choosing to show up for yourself. Again, when you own your worth, you begin to see yourself through a lens of compassion and reverence. You see that your imperfections are part of what make you beautiful and real. You understand that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love, respect, or success. You see that your experiences, the triumphs and the challenges, have shaped you into someone resilient and wise. You hold yourself with the same kindness and gentleness you would offer to someone you love. And in doing so, you create a sense of safety within yourself. Owning your worth also changes how you interact with the world. You become more discerning about where you invest your energy. You recognize that your time is valuable and that not every invitation deserves a yes. You learn to say no with grace and conviction, knowing that every no to something that doesn't serve you is a yes to yourself. You trust that you don't have to chase opportunities or force connections. What's meant for you will find its way to you because you are rooted in your own value. In relationships, owning your worth means no longer tolerating behavior that dishonors you. You set boundaries that protect your peace and well-being. You refuse to settle for crumbs when you know you deserve the feast. You choose partners and friends who see you, respect you, and honor the light within you. And you let go of those who don't, not because you're unkind, but because you love yourself too much to stay in spaces where you're not celebrated. Owning your worth also means trusting your voice. It means speaking your truth even when it's uncomfortable or scary. It means knowing that your ideas, your feelings, and your needs matter. You no longer silence yourself to make others comfortable. You no longer hide your brilliance to avoid standing out. You recognize that your voice is powerful and that it deserves to be heard. In your work, owning your worth means showing up with confidence and clarity. You don't let imposter syndrome hold you back. You understand that your contributions are valuable, that your perspective is unique, and that your presence makes a difference. You advocate for yourself, whether it's asking for what you're worth financially or taking up space in the rooms you occupy. You stop minimizing your achievements or downplaying your strengths to avoid making others uncomfortable. Owning your worth is also about how you care for yourself. It's about giving yourself the rest you need, the nourishment you crave, and the tenderness you deserve. It's about listening to your body and your spirit and responding with love. You stop seeing self-care as a luxury and start seeing it as a necessity. You understand that when you pour into yourself, you show up more fully for the people and the dreams that matter to you. At its core, owning your worth is about trust. Trusting that you are enough exactly as you are. Trusting that you don't have to hustle for love or acceptance. Trusting that you are inherently valuable and that you bring something special to this world just by being yourself. This trust becomes a foundation you can return to, no matter what challenges arise. Owning your worth doesn't mean you won't have moments of insecurity or doubt. We're all human, and we all have tender places that need healing. But owning your worth means you don't let those moments define you. You don't let them dictate how you move through the world. Instead, you acknowledge them, hold them with compassion, and then return to the truth that you are whole, that you are powerful, and that you are worthy of every good thing life has to offer. When you own your worth, you inspire others to do the same. Your presence becomes a reminder to those around you that they too can stand in their value, that they too can let go of the need to prove themselves and simply be. You become a living example of what it looks like to honor yourself, and that is a gift to everyone you meet. So as you stand in the power of this moment, remember this: you don't have to chase after your worth. You don't have to earn it or beg for it. It's already yours. Own it. Wear it like a crown. Let it guide your choices and your actions. Because when you own your worth, you stand in the fullness of your light. And that light has the power to change the world. Grace and stillness is a quiet power that many overlook in the rush of daily life. It is the subtle yet profound strength that comes not from action, but from the calm acceptance of what is. In a world that prizes noise, speed, and constant motion, choosing to embrace stillness is an act of courage and faith. It is the choice to trust that you don't always have to be doing, proving, or striving to be valuable. It is the recognition that there is dignity in simply being. When you allow yourself to be still, you create a space for grace to enter your life. You invite a gentle, nurturing energy that whispers, you don't have to force anything. You don't have to chase after what's already yours. In stillness, there is a natural elegance, a quiet authority that doesn't demand attention, yet commands respect. It is the poise of a queen who knows she doesn't need to scramble or rush to claim her place. Grace and stillness is about the art of letting go. Letting go of the need to control outcomes, to micromanage every detail of your life, or to predict the future. It is the willingness to trust that things will unfold as they are meant to, without your constant intervention. This doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent. Rather, it means you release the frantic energy of trying to force things to happen and instead allow life to flow naturally. You become a partner with life, dancing with the rhythms of the universe instead of fighting against them. In this stillness, you begin to hear the soft whispers of your own heart. You start to notice the subtleties that are easily missed in the chaos. The quiet truth that lives in your breath. The wisdom that arises when you pause. You realize that grace is not about perfection, but about presence. It's about being fully here, even when everything around you feels uncertain or unclear. Grace in stillness is also about compassion for yourself and for others. It's about softening the harsh judgments you carry and replacing them with understanding. When you are still, you see more clearly that everyone is doing their best, including you. You see that mistakes are part of the journey and that growth often comes in the quiet moments when you're not busy trying to fix everything. Stillness invites you to stop and truly feel, to feel the weight of your own breath, the steady beat of your heart, the quiet ache or joy that lingers beneath the surface. In this feeling, there is a kind of grace that cannot be found in endless activity. You come face to face with the truth of your own humanity, and in that truth, you find beauty. So often, We are taught that success and strength are measured by how much we do or how fast we go. But grace in stillness reminds us that there is another way, a way that honors the sacredness of rest, of pausing, of simply being. In stillness, you are not empty or lacking. You are full of possibility, full of quiet, knowing, full of the gentle power that comes from within. This grace can carry you through the most challenging time. When life feels overwhelming, when you're faced with uncertainty or loss, stillness can be a refuge. It can be the soft place you land when the world feels hard and unforgiving. In that pause, you give yourself permission to breathe, to regroup, and to remember that you are stronger than you think. That even in the midst of chaos, there's a core of calm within you that no one can take away. Grace in stillness is not about withdrawing from life or ignoring what needs to be done. It is about moving from a place of centeredness rather than reactivity. It's about responding to life, not from a place of fear or scarcity, but from a place of trust and inner peace. You act not because you're driven by panic, but because you're grounded in clarity. When you embody grace in stillness, others feel it. They sense the steadiness in your presence, the calm assurance that radiates from you. It's a kind of quiet confidence that doesn't need to be spoken. It's felt. It soothes those around you and creates a sense of safety and stability. In a world that often feels chaotic, your stillness becomes a balm, a soft reminder that there is another way to live. Stillness also teaches you patience. It shows you that not everything needs to be rushed or resolved immediately. Some things take time to unfold, and that's okay. In the pause, you learn to trust the natural timing of your life. You learn that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to wait and let things ripen in their own season. Grace in stillness doesn't mean you won't feel the pull of old habits or the urge to rush, but it does mean you choose to come back to the present moment again and again. You remember that stillness is a choice to anchor yourself in the now, to let go of what you can't control, and to honor the quiet wisdom that lives inside you. In stillness, you discover that your worth is not defined by how much you produce or how hard you hustle. It's defined by who you are when you're simply being. That's where your true power lies, not in constant action, but in your unwavering presence. You find that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone because the truth of your worth is self-evident in the quiet strength of your being. This grace is soft, yet unbreakable. It is the gentle confidence that says, I am enough, just as I am. It is the willingness to stand tall in your authenticity, without needing to fill every silence or occupy every space. It is the understanding that you can be a force of nature even in your stillness, because your presence alone is enough. So, let yourself be still. Let yourself rest in the quiet power of the present moment. Trust that you don't have to pursue endlessly to be valuable, Trust that in the pause there is magic. In the quiet there is grace. And in that grace there is a reminder of who you truly are. Steady, whole, and deeply, profoundly worthy. Let your stillness be a testament to your strength. Let it be a sanctuary where you can come home to yourself again and again. Steady, always steady, where you can come home to yourself again. Because when you embrace the grace in stillness, you discover a peace that no amount of striving can bring. You discover a power that cannot be shaken. And you remember that you are enough. Always enough, just as you are. Standing in sovereignty is a declaration of self-possession. It's about claiming your own authority and taking full ownership of your life, your choices, your boundaries, your dreams, and your path. It's the understanding that your power doesn't come from anyone else. It comes from within you. And when you choose to stand in that power, you are unshakable no matter what life throws your way. Sovereignty is the quiet strength that says, I belong to myself first. It's the refusal to be swayed by other people's opinions or expectations. It's the courage to trust your own voice, even when it goes against the crowd. When you stand in your sovereignty, you recognize that no one can define you except you. You are the ruler of your own kingdom. And you decide who and what gets to enter. This doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world or refusing to listen to others. It means discerning what aligns with your truth and what doesn't. It means saying no when something doesn't feel right, even if it's inconvenient or unpopular. It means saying yes to yourself, even when that means disappointing others. Standing in sovereignty is an act of radical self-love. It's choosing to honor your needs and desires without guilt or shame. It's understanding that you are worthy of respect and that you have a right to protect your own peace. You don't give away your power to please others. You don't shrink yourself to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. You stand tall in the fullness of who you are. And you let that be enough. In sovereignty, you stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to be who you are or to want what you want. You realize that no one else can grant you the authority you already hold within you. You step into that authority with confidence and grace, knowing that you are capable of navigating whatever comes your way. This sovereignty is not about arrogance or self-importance. It's about groundedness. It's about knowing that you are your own anchor in this world. When you stand in that truth, you are no longer at the mercy of others' whims or the chaos of external circumstances. You become a steady, calm force in your own life. In relationships, standing in sovereignty changes everything. You stop looking to others to complete you or to fill the gaps within you. You stop compromising your own needs to keep the peace. You show up as your whole self, and you expect others to meet you in that same integrity. You set clear boundaries, not as walls to shut people out, but as gates to protect what matters most to you. And you understand that real love, real connection, is built on mutual respect and freedom, not on sacrifice or control. Sovereignty also means embracing your own journey, wherever it takes you. It means trusting that you are exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't look like what you imagine. You release the need to compare your path to anyone else's, because you know that your journey is uniquely yours. You honor the lessons, the detours, the challenges, and the victories as all part of what makes you who you are. Standing in sovereignty can be challenging, especially in a world that often asks us to conform. There will be moments when it feels easier to hand over your power, to let someone else make the decisions for you, or to play small so that others feel more. Becomes not just an individual act, but a collective one. It's about creating relationships and communities that are built on respect and authenticity. When you stand in your sovereignty, you begin to see life differently. You realize that you are not a victim of circumstance. You are a creator, a participant in your own story. You have the power to shape your life through your choices and your mindset. You have the power to say, "This is who I am, and this is what I stand for." This doesn't mean life will always be easy or that you'll never face challenges. But it does mean that you face those challenges from a place of inner strength. You don't let fear or doubt dictate your path. You move forward with courage, knowing that you have everything you need within you to handle whatever comes. In sovereignty, there is a kind of peace that can't be found in the noise of seeking approval or chasing after what others want for you. There is a quiet confidence in knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. You are whole, you are capable, and you are free. So stand in that sovereignty. Let it guide you. Let it be the foundation on which you build your dreams and your relationships. Let it be the light that leads you back to yourself again and again. And the responsibility that brings you back to yourself again and again. Because when you stand in your sovereignty, you reclaim your life. You stop waiting for someone else to save you or to make you feel worthy. You remember that you have always held that power within you. Standing in sovereignty is the ultimate act of self-respect. It is the unwavering commitment to honor your own voice, your own needs, and your own dreams. It is the declaration that you are not here to be defined by anyone else. You are here to be fully, unapologetically yourself. And in that stand, you become a force of nature. A queen who doesn't have to pursue because she knows that what's meant for her will come. A queen who doesn't have to chase approval because she carries her worth like a crown. A queen who understands that her life is hers alone to live. And that is enough. Always enough. In this moment, let us remember, a queen doesn't pursue, she stands. She stands in the quiet knowing of her worth, the grace of her stillness, and the sovereignty of her soul. She doesn't chase after what is already within her. She doesn't beg for scraps of attention or validation. she stands. She stands because she understands that everything she seeks is already hers by birthright. She stands because she trusts in the divine timing of her life, the unbreakable truth of her own value. She stands in the face of doubt and fear, not because she is without them, but because she knows that they do not define her. She stands in the center of her own power, claiming it, owning it, and wearing it like a crown. She understands that in the quiet spaces of her life, in the pauses and the stillness, there is a deep wellspring of wisdom and grace. She draws from that well, knowing that it will never run dry as long as she remains true to herself. She stands in her sovereignty, no longer waiting for someone else to tell her she is enough. She doesn't ask for permission to be who she is or to want what she wants. She grants herself the freedom to be fully, unapologetically alive. She honors her own needs and sets boundaries that protect her peace. She stands in the knowledge that her voice matters, that her dreams are sacred, and that her life is hers alone to shape. In her stillness, she finds strength. In her grace, she finds power. In her unwavering stance, she becomes a beacon of light for those who have forgotten their own. Because a queen who stands in her worth does not need to chase anything. She does not need to prove herself to anyone. She simply needs to remember who she is. So let this be our call to rise, to stand not in pursuit, but in presence, to claim our worth without apology, to embrace the quiet power of stillness and the fierce beauty of sovereignty. Let us be the queens of our own lives, standing tall and strong, knowing that everything we need is already within us. Let us stand, and in that standing, let us change the world. In her stillness, she finds strength. In her grace, she finds power. In her unwavering stance, she becomes a beacon of light for those who have forgotten their own. Because a queen who stands in her worth does not need to chase anything. She does not need to prove herself to anyone. She simply needs to remember who she is. So let this be our call to rise, to stand not in pursuit, but in presence, to claim our worth without apology, to embrace the quiet power of stillness and the fierce beauty of sovereignty. Let us be the queens of our own lives, standing tall and strong, knowing that everything we need is already within us. Let us stand, and in that standing, let us change the world.